What's going on, Dave? Starting the stream up. I'm gonna grab some coffee really quick though. I'll be back in like a minute. Good morning. Well, it's not morning. I'm starting late today. I had some stuff to take care of, but good afternoon to you. Happy Veterans Day to any vets that are in the chat. Dave, are you talking about the corrections that I've made here to this animation? Dave, let's see. No, I don't storyboard every animation idea. If it gets super complex, then I'll make like really rough versions, but I won't necessarily storyboard one. Storyboarding is more like when it gets more complex, like you're doing a whole like short and whatever with like a story. That's generally when I storyboard. Like, I got this idea that I want to do with like, with this character, like Jennifer, fighting some bad guys to some, licensed music that would go on for probably around like 20 or 30 seconds or so. To plan out the shots, I would storyboard at that point. For all my shorts that I've done in the past, yeah, I've storyboarded them. That one cartoon that I got on my YouTube, the one that's called Senya with the girl who's skateboarding in a 3D environment, yeah, that was boarded. The boarding changed quite a lot, so that's the main reason we do that, because it's easy changes, more sketchy, Nayland, to answer your question, that's my favorite. The reason it's my favorite is because it has a lot of personal significance to myself and my wife, and I'm also proud of the animation and the collaboration that I did on that one with a really nice guy. So for many reasons, that's my favorite. Hey DJ, welcome. And let's see, Claw. Yeah, I'm about to hit 17, man. I'm trying to hit 20 before the year's out. It's maybe not gonna happen. I'm having to Well, my focus is going in a few different directions, and so I'm kind of realizing as we're getting closer to the end of the year that this cartoon's taking a little while, a little longer than I thought it would. So I'm probably gonna stop doing drawing commissions so intensely going forward for the next couple of months. Main reason is because I want to get this one done before the year's over. DJ, I've been good. How about you? Haven't seen you around these parts lately. Claw, you're gonna have to like. Oh, you're talking about what she says, like old man? She doesn't really got a problem with old people. It's just this particular old man. It's not because he's old. It's just she's throwing that age-old insult at him. Well, she's talking about Wolverine. That's why. And she's kind of like fighting the dude. Roblox games, very cool. Claw. No, he's not slow. He's just, the dude's like 200 years old, man. I'd be calling the dude old man if I was, if I wanted to throw little cheeky insults at him. But let's go ahead and get to the cartoon. So you guys will probably notice there's a bit of a change to the drawing. There's some redness going on. That would be like a bush or like a small tree. I was staring at this cartoon on a loop, just trying to see like what the hell was happening. I kept looking at it. I'm thinking like it works, but like there's just something not lining up here. Like there's some kind of action we can push. And I kind of just realized her. I just kind of realized like like her hands were not being utilized. So I figured, you know what? I'll use her hand when she's walking up to like push an object out of the way. And I'll use her other hand when she, brings it like upward. Like she was gesturing kind of like a sort of not really like I don't know like gesture with her other hand. But the more I kept like looking at it, I'm like, something about that is just not working, especially when I drew her head. And I'm like, well, why don't I just make her like hand come up and like brush her head and like brush her bangs, like that's a pretty like cocky motion, I'd be like, flicking my hair, you know what I mean? I figured, you know what, I'll draw that in, and I drew in a rough version to see if it would work, and I think it works great. So I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna get the beginnings of that drawn in today. But what I need to do right now is I need to actually go back to the beginning and draw in these parts here where she's bringing her hand up to move a bush. Oh boy, Mike. Might try to talk a little bit, see if the mic holds up. I'm pretty sure the mic is fine. It's just it's the connection for some reason it's being weird. DJ, I would recommend Maya. If you can afford it. It's very expensive. I've taught it before though. It's really good software. But that said, you can't beat free. I gotta get back in the groove, man. I feel like I can't draw right now. Mario. I'm good, and if you want to overcome art block, well, that's a tough one. Once you get it, it's kind of hard to overcome. What I personally do is I just, you know... So when I'm drawing, it's like... I don't really have a choice. So I try to stick with it as good as I can. But if you have the option, go for like a walk or something. Or even take a couple of days off. Wait until the block goes away. That's what I would do. Well, I guess kind of to Johnny's point, I don't, there's, let me turn this off. To Johnny's point, it depends on just, you know, on how much you need to clear your head. There's no, like, you know, specific amount of time. That's really on you, you know. You just gotta count on the idea that it will pass. You just gotta give it some time. But try your best to not let demotivation keep you from it for too long. The difference between, you know, those that get good and those that don't is, I mean, everyone gets demotivated. Everyone. But you gotta be persistent, you know? Well, I'm gonna go turn on my heater, man. Like, it's super cold, and I feel like that's really screwing me up. Even right now, I'm not really feeling it in the sense that, like, you know, I feel like, you know, you know, every stroke that I'm gonna make is gonna be gold. I feel like everything I'm drawing right now actually just feels kind of weird. You just gotta push through it, though, man. And if you really can't get into it, just give yourself a break, you know? be nice to yourself, but don't try not to get bogged down either. You know what I'm actually missing here is I don't think I have the I don't have the right I don't have the right reference material. Why, Mario? You feeling a little bit of art block? If you're still here. Well, maybe you could try to explain it a little bit. I think I understand what you mean by scared. I can try to explain what I feel that like fear is like. You want to draw something nice and you're afraid you're going to screw it up and that you're going to waste your time. I think to a degree, if that's what it is, I get it. There's a little quote that I heard in school from my illustration teacher. I heard a couple of quotes from him and they really kind of got me going. They kind of got me feeling better and drawing better. But there's one that you can probably try to keep in mind going forward. It's do a little every day without hope and without despair. Well, you feel like you're stagnating. Like you feel like, you're learning, you're doing a lot, but you're not picking it up. Well, let me tell you one thing. You might not feel like you're learning anything, you might not feel like you're learning anything, and if you aren't doing things right, there's a chance that you might not be. There was a point in time when I was drawing when I felt like the same way. Every drawing that I made felt the same, and it felt like I was kind of just, swimming against the tide. The reason for that is, so whenever I pick these projects, like for me, I try to pick something, a topic, or some sort of technique that I haven't done before, you know? Like in this case, I'm doing a full-on like perspective animation, right? If I just kind of did things that I was comfortable with, I wouldn't touch this. I would want to keep going with more stuff that I did, kind of like the sign animation. I can do smooth animation all the live long day. I could make really smooth animations. I've practiced a lot at that, but when it comes to actual like drawing and animating in different spaces, I don't have a lot of practice there. So I'm picking this. I picked this particular one. Well, I actually asked my patrons if they were cool with it, and when they said they were, I was able to pursue it. You need to try to seek out the things that you don't know. All right. Find out what you're not good at. All right, and then do them. Well, yeah, like you have to challenge yourself in these things. If you just do the same things over and over again, you're gonna stagnate. You'll probably do a good looking cartoon, but yeah, you gotta leave your comfort zone. Thing is, if you leave the comfort zone, all right, and you don't do your research, there is a chance that you might get overwhelmed. Okay, you might practice something that you don't know, and then you realize you don't know it. You start to flounder, and then you give up. So you have to be able to leave. You have to be able to leave your comfort zone, and you got to give yourself all the tools to stay out of it. All right. So figure out what you are not good at. All right. At that point, you need to do some research. You need to see what other people do. All right. See how other people attack. This this thing that you want to learn. Right. Gather like reference material. Watch YouTube tutorials. Maybe get books. Basically, give yourself the ability to not rely so much on things that you don't know. Like try to learn it a little bit before you attempt it. And get like a sketchbook too. A sketchbook would be helpful in helping you do these things. Now, don't just go like sketching, random stuff just because, I gotta fill out my sketchbook. Same deal. Look at how others sketch. Give it a shot yourself. And who knows, you might surprise yourself. The big thing is to not let fear decide what you make. And then once you start, you can't let fear like infect your hand. Well, there you go. Like, you got to keep sketching. Just not just for sketching's sake, but it's more about just, trying your hand at different things. Different drawing techniques, different subject matter. All that good stuff. But yeah, when you start drawing new stuff, don't go in blind. Yeah, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't go in blind when you're trying to draw something new. Do a little bit of research before you do that. Do this today. I've got a lot on my mind is the problem. So I think what I might need to do, I might need to take my own advice. Go for like a walk or something. Because I need to do this. I need to draw this stuff today. It's part of my plan. I want to use this cartoon as like a portfolio piece to show like a walk and character acting and musculature. I don't have a choice. Like I have to do this today. But I might need to just kind of... I might need to allow myself a bit of time to just clear my head. Hey Mario, there's one other piece of information that I would pass on to you. When you're gonna start drawing, I know what your goal probably is. You want to draw something really cool. You want to draw something really nice and pretty. And you want to have someone say, "Oh wow, like you made that? That's really nice." And as a result, you're gonna want to try to draw something really nice. All right, and you're gonna start making your drawings. You're gonna try to create that perfect drawing, right? When you try to do that, there's a good chance that you're gonna limit your hand. And by that I mean you're not gonna allow yourself to be messy and explore. And because you don't do that, you're really gonna have a there's a good likelihood you're gonna have a stiff drawing. So remember when you're drawing that you're not trying to draw something pretty. You're not trying to draw a pretty picture. You're mainly trying to explore. All right? You're mainly trying to figure out where that drawing is. All right? It's in your head. You know it's there. But if you try too hard to find it by like trying to be like exacting in the way that you draw, and you're afraid you're gonna mess it up, there's a very good chance you are gonna mess it up. So whenever I was drawing, before I learned this information, my drawings always felt stiff, you know? Like they looked pretty, but they were also somewhat lifeless. So remember when you're drawing that you're not trying to create a pretty picture. The pretty picture will come. You gotta have fun with it. You gotta explore, you know? Okay. I kinda wish I had kept going last week when I got to this part. I felt like I was in the zone last week. But now I feel like I am not. So you know what I actually have to do? I'm actually gonna have to shoot new reference for this part because I'm doing it from my head and it's not gonna look good. So what I'm probably gonna need to do actually is I'm gonna need to pull out my camera and shoot this thing. Just this part right here where Jen, like, you know, she grabs her bangs and like does all that, because I need to see what the hand naturally will do. I've got indicators of where it is, but it's like, what's it gonna do, man? You know. And I also need to, like, you know, have just extra reference on like what's happening with the arm. I'm not gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna go back to the previous drawings and try to get these ones figured out. I'm gonna start with the keys. And I'm gonna do them on the overlay later. And I'm gonna do them with a different color. Since we're animating, I probably don't need to go too crazy in depth with the finger detail here. What's going on, Gary? Like, there's too much going on. Yep. Clip Studio. Okay. I'm gonna go shoot some reference really quick, because this is gonna be very hard if I just try to, like, you know, do it from my imagination. I'll keep this going on this side, but I'm probably gonna be kind of like low key for a little bit. So if you want to go until later when I have something more concrete to show, then that's cool. But I'll keep the animation playing on a loop and all that. Hey guys, I'm gonna take my own advice and actually I'm gonna go for a little walk. Like I feel like I can't draw right now. I'm gonna go grab some caffeine and maybe I'll feel better after like about 20 minutes. So I also got the reference that I needed for this, so I'm probably gonna spend some time organizing that just to get it all together, and then I'll get back to drawing. That might be a little bit. So I'm gonna stop just on this for maybe a couple of hours. Um, and I'll give it another shot. Sorry, dudes. I know this animation's been inconsistent, but I'm pretty dedicated to getting this done. It's just right now I'm not in the right headspace, so I'm gonna give myself a break and give it another shot here in a minute.